and then they ghost you, and then they come back, right? We all know that cycle. This is a dangerous game to play. I said no, and when I said no, everything changed. It almost became, now I was being pursued. Why are you giving them that power? Healing truly begins, guys, and when you do this, that is when your soulmate will come in. Hey guys, what is up? Welcome back to my channel, and hello if you are new. My name is Andrea Johnson. I am your mystical muse, your manifestation mind, your spiritual inspiration. Whatever you want me to be, I am all that is, right? But welcome to Mystical Muse Minds, where we discuss topics to expand our consciousness and improve our lives. Let me grab my coffee. We're having all the Halloween vibes today because it is Summerween, guys. At home told me so whenever I went there. Oh, you guys had some good feedback and some more questions over the last video that I made, and essentially everything kind of had an underlying theme. You guys are having trouble with actually getting somebody to either commit to you or getting them out of your energy field to move on from them. To first start off with, guys, we're gonna be talking about something with what I like to call the hope trap, the illusion of hope or promises that eventually this relationship will work out or that the person will commit the way that you envision it to happen, right? The best way I can describe the hope trap, guys, is it's a illusion, essentially. The mind is playing out all of these different scenarios and hoping that this person will eventually choose you, because essentially that's what's happening, is they're not choosing you, so you're holding out for hope that one day they will. This hope can keep you stuck from ever moving on, and it causes a lot of pain and heartache because you can't ever fully move forward with your life. Your energy is almost tied to the illusions that the brain is conjuring up, all the imagination of like a life with this person, that you want them to be choosing you, but they're not fully committed to you. Maybe they're coming back in and it's kind of reestablishing that hope mechanism. Maybe they ghost you and then they come back, and then they kind of mess with your mind a little bit, and then they ghost you and then they come back, right? We all know that cycle, or you know it if you've been through it. This is a dangerous game to play with hope, guys, because it's holding on to the idea that this person will eventually choose you, or you're holding on to the idea that this person will change for you and to be the person that you want them to be the energy that you need from them, almost like a codependency mechanism. It's a very dangerous game to play because it's a very, very, very tiny chance that the person will change, right? It's only you that is going to be in control of how you change. And this false sense of hope is holding on to a timeline in which it drains your energy, and because you don't have it now, it's causing a lot of pain. All pain and suffering, guys, is caused from an attachment to an idea, and we don't have it physically and manifested in form, and we feel like if we had it manifested in physical form, it would bring us a sense of love, right? That we think that this thing will give us, right? And we're telling ourselves that we're not this love right now because we don't have said thing. So it's creating like this really painful heartache, grief, unworthiness trap, right? It's hell, essentially. What you have to really look at, guys, when you have the false idea of hope, and guys, I can go into every different scenario that can cause this of the person not committing to you. Ultimately, what you have got to do is look at your current situation. Stop projecting yourself into the future and going down all these different timelines with your imagination, right? Because the brain likes to do that. And look at the reality of the situation. Come back to the present and look at the person's actions. What is the person doing? Despite whatever they are telling you, despite however you feel like when you're around this person, because the feeling of love can very much blind you, as love is blind. We even say that, guys. You're not really in, I want to say, contact with reality of this situation, right? So go off of what the person is doing. If the person is not committing to you, they're not choosing you. And this can look so different from person to person, but essentially, guys, when it all boils down to it, if a person wants to be with you, they will be with you. they will be with you. And we all know it. We all know it. And we like to think that when somebody says, oh, I'm just not available right now, I'm emotionally, distraught, whatever, like they might be going through some shit, guys. But essentially, if they truly wanted to be with you, they would. The energy of the uplift of wherever they're at, the idea of being with you would pull them up enough that they would follow it, because that is our soul's natural guideline. Our soul follows the highest vibration. And essentially, if they're not choosing you, they're not committed, then you're just kind of like a side piece. And I'm sorry to say that. I have been there. I know what that feels like. It feels awful, and it hurts your sense of self-worth, because we're pouring our sense of self-worth into this other person choosing us, right? So it damages us on multiple levels of the self, guys. It's very, very dangerous to play this game. I think people get confused too, especially when somebody comes in, right? They come into your energy field and they kind of play with you a little bit. They'll text you. They'll maybe say some, oh, you make me feel so good. Like, they're really kind of like feeding you and elevating you and building you up. This is a narcissistic tactic, guys. It's to get you hooked, and they probably don't know that they're doing it. They want to keep you hooked and keep you around, or when they need an elevation in energy, and you're essentially going to be giving them that with your attention, because you're feeding them your energy. There's a difference between commitment and choosing and just being a side piece, just being a friend, essentially, just being entertainment. I hate to say that. If a guy wants to just text you, hit you up every now and again when it's convenient for him, he's really short with you, like say maybe you reach out and they're just like really short messages, you could tell that the person doesn't want to, communicate, but they're just kind of like, oh, I feel bad type of thing. Those are all signs that they're truly not invested in you, that you are convenience, not commitment, right? Oh, that's a good one. You are convenience, not commitment. And we want commitment from people, right? Because we're in such an elevated state of energy that love is blinding us, essentially. The chemicals in our mind, the oxytocin, the dopamine that this person is giving us with the attention that, when they elevate us, when they want our attention, when they're feeding us that, oh, you make me feel so good, I had such a great time with you, like, giving you compliments, things like that, they build you up, right? And then they rip the rug out from underneath you when they ghost you probably a couple days later. So let's go down another scenario that I've been on and currently on. You broke up with somebody, or you guys broke up, whatever, kind of in that stage of, are you going to get back together? Do you move on? Like, how can I move forward? Because you can hold on to hope that the person is either changing, that they're working on themselves, or that maybe that they'll realize that you were the one and come back around, right? So it kind of keeps you still in this limbo from ever moving forward fully and playing out all the timelines. And the what if game is what I like to call it. What if I did this different? What if I try to contact the person? What if he's changing? What if I can work on myself and see love and then hopefully heal the relationship? The what if game, or what if we try it again and go to therapy and all this stuff. That keeps you stuck. It's kind of the same concept, guys. You have got to look at the person's actions. What is that person doing? Are they calling you and trying to even get back with you? That's number one, because you can't hold on to the idea that this person might be working on themselves and not communicating with you, and then hopes that maybe months later they'll return. That's going to keep you stuck in hell and heartbreak, guys. Same scenario as the other one. If the person does try to reach out and try to fix things, try to get back with you, you might be waffling on the idea of, do I get back with that person? Do I not get back with that person? Should I give them another shot? Same thing. Look at what the person is doing. Look at your current state of reality. Look at the facts, right? Not the what ifs in the future and the projecting yourself, right? What is that person doing? Did they go to therapy? Are they working on themselves? Were they dating other women? Were they indulging in drugs and alcohol? What were they doing? That will tell you everything that you need to know on if the person is truly invested in you and wanting to build something with you, because they're willing to do the work and change or try to make things better, if they show any kind of trying, that is a positive sign that at least it's moving in a good direction, and you can further explore that avenue if you would like. They really do have to do it for themselves. Otherwise, you're going to have to hold a sense of belief in them that they will stay on this path, especially if you move forward with them. You do have to forget everything in the past if you choose to be with that person, right? And I'm going off of the scenario of if you guys broke up and got back together and you're waffling on that idea of what the future would look like. If you decide that, you literally have to let go of everything in the past and believe in that this person can change and be the person that you envision them to be. And guys, I'm talking from a certain level of consciousness. We will prevail beyond this in the rest of the video. You have to believe in them, because then it's going to further impact their belief in their self. And this is kind of like a loop, which ultimately this is where you help them see the vision. But you have to be almost their support if they cannot do it on their own, right? So this is where you can do it together, but ultimately there is a risk still, guys, especially if you cannot hold the vibration to believe in that person or forget about the past. That is a toxic cycle waiting to repeat itself if you can't. So you have to ultimately make that decision. Now, if you don't know what that person is doing, they're not communicating with you, they're not, working with you on any sort of thing, ultimately, guys, once again, go off of their actions. And if you're holding out for hope, you have got to let it go. Holding out for hope is that waffling back and forth. Should I try? Should I not try? Is it going to work out? Is it not going to work out? It's still keeping you tied to that person rather than fully moving on. It's draining your energy. You're going to have to make the decision. That is the most healing thing that you can do, is make the decision to move forward with or without this person. When you make the decision, everything shifts instantly. So you will find if you're waffling with somebody and you decide, screw this, they're not communicating, they're not working on themselves, their actions are basically showing it, right? If this person isn't choosing me, why am I holding out for it? You have got to even ask yourself that question, guys. When you come to the realization to stop choosing this other person over yourself, because that's essentially where this is all headed, guys, is the self-abandonment. When you choose to honor yourself and let go of the other person, all of your energy is going to come back to you. And you can create a life worth living from your soul, because that person literally is taking your soul from you. So, not to say they're trying to, but you're allowing them to, is the better case to say. When we are wanting somebody to commit to us or choose us, we're essentially not choosing ourselves, guys. And this is where you will find why people say all the time, when you are truly happy and living your life, will then your soulmate pop in? It is because you're choosing your soul, guys. You manifest what you are in your current moment. That includes all of your relationships. When you choose yourself, guys, you're living life in alignment with your soul. You're working on bettering who you are. You're working on going after your soul's purpose or goals. You're working on your health. You're working on the relationships that truly matter in your life, your family, friends, or you're even getting clear on what it is you want your life to look like. When you focus on you and you're choosing yourself each and every day, you're gonna find that the idea of this other person is gonna fade away. The idea of them, all that they were, was providing a sense of love that you already had within yourself. They were a channel, or are a channel, that you are telling yourself will bring you love and happiness, and without that person that you can't have the love and happiness, when you can, because you're it. You're just not going after the things in life and what your soul is calling you to go for. You're not embodying the frequency of love now. You're not turning to God now. You have got to bring your conscious awareness back to yourself and focus on you. And you will find when you do this, when you start actually going after the shit you want to, you start doing the hard stuff, you work on yourself to overcome the fears, build yourself up, you will find, guys, that sense of love that you're looking for was always within you. And you're going to feel that love when you start doing the things for you. I swear to God, I'm not just going to say that. I swear, guys. I swear. And then the thought of that other person's going to fade. You're not going to identify a sense of love or longing for them anymore because you're filling your own cup. And when you do this, that is when your soulmate will come in. That is when, honestly, who knows if you even want one by that point. But you will find, though, and I'm going with this off of more of concept because I haven't yet found this, that the person who steps in will be adding to you, building you. You will elevate one another, right? And it makes complete sense. It makes complete sense because you both love yourselves and you understand how love works. And you're willing to give each other what you need. That is what relationships are all about. It's holding a level of respect for yourself and the other person, a level of love. The golden rule: treat others the way you want to be treated. To sum it up, guys, true healing or overcoming this heartbreak is essentially to stop putting your worth into somebody choosing you. And you have to start choosing yourself. Healing truly begins, guys, with the decision to walk away from the person. Decide to do it. You have got to make the choice. And when you make the choice, you stick to it. You are not your feelings, but they are valid as well too. You can honor the way that in which you feel, but not take action from those feelings to create a reality from it. You can miss that person, but you don't have to text them. We're allowed to feel sad. We're allowed to miss our old life, but you cannot stay stuck there because then you won't create a new life because the best days are yet to come. If you can bring yourself back to you and start creating with your soul, making the decision that this past relationship or whatever kind of encounter that you had with this person, however which way it didn't work out, it actually allowed you to learn something from it and to move forward with this new knowledge, this new wisdom, this new you, essentially, this new energy. And that is a blessing. It's not to say that anything that we went through with that other person or that you encountered with the person isn't valid, or that it wasn't love, or that it was just a trauma bond. I want you to ask yourself why you're putting so much merit or self-worth, the needing of approval from this other person. Why are you giving them that power? That's the true question you need to be asking yourself. And how can you give that love or that power back to yourself? How can you call that back? What can you do in your life to give you that feeling of worthiness, right? Choosing yourself. What does that look like for you? Our relationships are beautiful, guys. They're supposed to add value to us. They're supposed to teach us something. They're not supposed to be our purpose, so shall we say, if that makes sense. They're not supposed to give us happiness. They're just supposed to be adding to our happiness. Hopefully this helps you guys out. This was more of me teaching from my own experiences, how I got the other person to choose me eventually. And ultimately, it was me choosing myself. I was that booty call, right? And it brought a level of pain to me every time that I would cave and, do it, because in the moment it felt really, elevating to me. But the aftermath would be so painful that eventually one day I said no. I couldn't do it anymore. And when I said no, everything changed. It almost became, now I was being pursued. That's really how the person actually committed, because I stopped being available. I stopped giving in and I started choosing myself. And then they saw that and they're like, oh, she's not just convenience anymore. Side note, I'm sending you guys all my light and all my love. Satnam.